I'm so excited to show you this new wreath that I'm making. It's still an angel wing wreath like this, but it's going to be colorful. We're going to be throwing in some poly deco mesh along with the poly burlap. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to make things so different. It's a game changer. Let me tell you, you can use whatever deco mesh you have on hand. It's going to work. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to show you the colors that I'm using today. Well, first of all, we have the white poly burlap. You are going to need 2 rolls, and at least. I will let you know for sure whenever we're done here, and I'll put it in the description just how many rolls you're definitely going to need, but you're probably going to need almost an entire 2 rolls. Okay, then I'm going to go use purple, I'm going to use denim blue, I'm going to use turquoise, and the last color is this turquoise, and I believe it's mixed with apple green. I got this several years ago, and I looked in my past orders, couldn't find it, and I can't find where they have it anymore. It seems like they're doing away with a lot of the mixed colors. So, but I believe this is turquoise mixed with apple green. So you can see that next to the turquoise. So these 4 colors I think is going to be so pretty together. It's almost peacockish, mermaidish. It's kind of pretty, okay? But again, use whatever colors you have. This is going to be like an ombre kind of style, and hopefully it works. I'm pretty excited. So let's get started. So what you're going to need is 2 carrot wreath forms from the Dollar Tree. And you would have to cut this top off and all these in the middle. Cut all that off. If you cannot find the carrot wreath forms, you can make your own. I have a video showing you how to make your own, or I also sell them on my website. And this is what I have. They are pretty much the same size as these carrot forms. I kind of went off of that. These are slightly about 1/2 inch larger, but it's very, very similar to these carrot wreath forms that you get from Dollar Tree. If you decide to make your own, you can make them longer, thinner, wider. You can do whatever you want with them. And again, I have that video so you can see how I did that. And I'm just going to use these because I only have one of these carrot wreath forms with me. Okay. So I have these, and then I have this 6-inch form that I got from Joann Fabrics, and I spray painted it white. Okay, so we have these, and then we have some plastic canvas. I got this plastic canvas from Joann Fabrics, but you can get it at Hobby Lobby and Michael's. It's in your yarn section. Make sure you get the 5 mesh. The 7 mesh has smaller holes, makes it a little bit more difficult to get your zip ties going through. Okay, and I am going to trace out the plastic canvas in the shape of these carrot wreath forms. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I just kind of figured this out, that it makes it a little bit easier for me. I'm going to take my 4-inch zip ties. Okay, let's dump out a few here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is secure the very top here. Okay, you can see it. I took it all the way to the very top. That way we're not wasting anything. And then this is all the way over to this side. And I'm going to just secure that real quick. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that this is good and straight, that I have like the grid lines will be going straight across. And then I'm just going to go straight down, and I'm going to secure one here at the bottom. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. Right here at the very bottom. And make sure that's on nice and good. That way it doesn't move around whenever you're cutting or tracing. And you know what? I will just cut straight from this instead of tracing anything out. It saves a little bit of time, and what the heck. And then I'll just kind of secure a couple spots here, and then I'm going to just cut it out. Okay. And then I'm going to trace this, because this fits right in there. Trace this out and cut out the outside of this ring form. Okay. Okay, so you can see I got these cut out. I don't have a whole lot of zip ties on here, just enough that it's staying on. Okay, and I think we're good. And then I traced out the outside of this ring form and just put the plastic canvas on there, because that is actually going to be the front, and we'll hook the wreath using this part, which is normally the front. I know that sounds confusing, but what the heck. Kind of what I want to do. I want to make sure we have each of these carrot forms even with each other. Okay. And I want to kind of measure from this point to the bottom. Okay. That's 1, 2, 3 inches from there to there. Same thing here. From here to here is 1, 2, 3 inches. And I think that will work. If I wanted to make them further apart, if I wanted to make them 4 inches, do it this way and this way. Make sure both sides are even. Okay? Which that would work out fine too. So I might go ahead and do it where they come out just a tad. We want to make sure we have this centered. Okay, so I'm going to have this crossbar like at my center point, and then I want to make sure this is only about 1 inch down from the top of these. So in order to make sure we are putting the zip ties in the correct spots, I'm going to go ahead and mark here and here. Okay. And then I'm going to mark right underneath them where I want to put the zip ties in on these forms. Okay, I know this is very confusing, but it makes it a lot easier to know, because I'm going to be picking stuff up and moving things around. Okay, I think this looks good. If I made any mistakes or anything like that, I would just kind of cut those off, redo it. But I think we are okay with this. So what I like to do, you can kind of see this just flops or whatever. I'll secure this just to the plastic canvas of the wing, okay, it's on both sides. flip it over and I will attach here also, okay? Just to make sure it's good and secure. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how I cut the poly burlap. Okay, this is a 10-inch roll of white poly burlap. And what I'm going to do, I am going to cut this at 10.5 inches instead of 10. And I'll explain why. Well, you'll see why in a little bit. But let's cut these at just about 10.5 inches. Stay within the lines of the poly burlap. And the reason I use a wood burning tool, it cuts down on the frame like you would not believe. So I want to show you how I make the angel wings. We are going to do a left side and a right side. Okay, I'm going to do the right side first. I have the finished edge on the top and the bottom. And I'm going to take the left corner and bring it down. And I'm going to make sure that this edge is right at the end of where that finished edge kind of ends up here. Okay, we want that 1/4 of an inch just so that when we fold it, this doesn't peep out from behind. Okay, so let's try to make this as even as we possibly can. Take my wood burning tool, go from that folded edge and down to the tip. Nice and slow. Okay. And so you can see that is fused together. Okay. And to make this wing, what we're going to do, bring it over, leave that about 1 inch right there. Okay. Fold that in, scrunch, scrunch, and scrunch. I like to fold, scrunch like to the flat side. It helps give it a nice curve right here. And zip tie it shut. Okay, so that is the right wing. So for the left wing, I'm going to have the finished edge on both the left and the right. Okay, and instead of bringing one down, I'm going to take the bottom right and take it up. And again, I want this to be just under where that finished edge ends. Okay, kind of line this up, and I'm going to go from the tip down to the folded edge. Okay, so now this is fused. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this over. So we have the finished edge on top and that fused side is on the side. Okay, and then flip it under and scrunch. Zip tie it shut. And there we have the petal for the left wing. And now I'm going to show you with the turquoise how I am going to cut this. We're going to cut this at 9 inches instead of 10. Okay. It's been working really well for me, so I'm just going to kind of stick with that. I believe we should be cutting 6 of these all together, 6 of each color. I have 4 colors, 6 of each. That's going to be 24 petals on either side of these colored petals. Okay, so one of these, you can see I'm going to cut this where the finished edge is on the top right and the bottom left. And I'm going to cut it from corner to corner. And again, I'm just going to use my wood burning tool. You can use a rotary cutter, but this just makes less mess. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to fix this so this comes down right to the edge. Okay. But this edge up here, it's not going to be seen, so it does not have to be done with the wood burning tool. Like I said, it just helps with less mess. So now this one is going to be on the top left, bottom right is where the finished edge will be, and I'm going to cut it once again. So you can see I have some on like either way. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I make the petals. First we are going to fuse this poly deco mesh with the poly burlap, and I'm going to make this for the right side. Okay, I'm going to take, I have the finished edge on the top and the bottom. I'm going to take my left hand top and bring it down to bottom right. Okay, so we have this kind of lined up the best we can. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this one where it's curved down, okay, and this long edge is with this long edge, and the finished edge is with this one here. I'm going to line these up the best I can. Kind of make sure these tips are together, and bring this, line this on up. Yes, it takes time, but the result is beautiful. Okay, so from here, we don't care what this looks like up on this folded edge, but we're going to go from the folded edge and then go on down to the tip. Okay, you can see this is fused and this here is all fused together. Okay, so I'm going to set this over here. This is going to be for the right wing. So now for the left wing, I'm going to take another piece of poly burlap. Now, instead of having it on the top and the bottom like this, I'm going to move it to side. We're going to do exactly the opposite because this is going to be the left wing. So we have the top and the bottom, or the finished edge on the left and the right. And instead of bringing it down, I'm taking this up. Again, I make sure this kind of lines up with the top of the finished edge here. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that is lined up. Now I'm going to take this one where here's the cut edge, that corner to corner edge, that's going to go along here. The finished edge is going to go on top of this finished edge. Line it up the best I can. And then from the tip to the folded edge, I'm going to fuse all 3 sides together. Okay. Let's move this over to the side. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how I actually make each petal. I'm going to move this out of the way and turn I'm going to unplug my wood burning tool. Okay, so here we are. We have a left wing and a right wing. And let me show you how we do this. Remember, we got the fused edge is here on the right. I'm going to pull out my zip ties. Okay, so we have the fused edge on the right. I'm going to flip this on over. Now we really don't care what this looks like up at the top or underneath here because we just don't want anything coming out from under this finished edge. Okay, so I'm going to fold that over and I'm going to make sure there's about an inch going all the way down. And you know what, that didn't fuse right here, and this tip is where we really want that fuse to stay. So I'm going to bring this back over and kind of go along that edge nice and slow. Make sure that is fused. Yeah, we want to make sure that is good and fused. Okay. I'll put this aside again. So when I bring this over, this is all going to stay together because it's fused together. Again, I'm going to leave a good inch right here. I'm going to tuck that under, scrunch, scrunch, and scrunch. And then I'll cut this this poly burlap that's sticking out, I'll cut that off. But that is the right wing. Now for the left wing, remember we have the fused side on the left. I'm going to flip this over. Again, leaving a good about an inch. Flip that corner in and kind of scrunch. You want to scrunch to the flat side, the folded side, okay? Now, if you want to use rubber bands to tie this shut, you can. I just would much rather use zip ties because I have a little phobia of rubber bands. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting the petals on. I don't want this side that is normally the front. That's going to be our back now. So we are going to have this turned over like this, and I am actually going to draw lines of where I want to put my petals. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start 1 inch up. Okay, let's make this as even as possible. Okay, so I'm going to go up 1 inch, and that's where I want my first petal to be. Then I'm going to go up every 2 inches. Okay, and make a line. Okay, and also, so I can have a good idea of where my center point is, I'm going to draw a line from the top to the bottom. So I think we're ready to get started. Okay, so I'm going to start with the left side, and I'm going to start with purple. And I'm going to get a bunch of zip ties out because we're going to need them. You can use 6-inch, 8-inch zip ties, whatever you are comfortable with. I'm using 6-inch here. Okay, so right in the very center on that line, I'm going to do 1. I'm going to go in one hole, skip a hole, come out the other. And I like to kind of get that started so it's just nice and simple. And we can just put this in and zip tie it shut. I'm going to do the same on the right side. And I have Sharpie all over me. You might want to let the Sharpie dry before you start working. Okay, so 2 inches up, I'm going to do 2. And also, when you are putting the petals on, go from the outside in, like left to right on the left wing, right wing, we're going to go right to left. And I'll show you, it's simply because we want the inside wing to lay on top of the outside wing as we're going in. Now, what I'm going to do on the inside, I'm going to start with a blue, and because I want the purple to go up this way, I want all the colors to kind of go up and out. So I know it's going to be a weird pattern, but I think it's going to be fun. Okay. Okay, so we're going to bring some more of the blues in, and then we're going to go up to the turquoise. Okay, so we're going to be going 4 across up at the next line. Okay, one last purple. And the rest of these will be blue. Actually, we're just going to do 2 blue, and then we'll do the turquoise here. Okay, let's see how this is looking so far. I think it looks really good. It's definitely different, right? Okay, so this next line coming up, we're done with the purple. Now we're going to do 5 going across. Let's only do 2 blue, because I'll do another blue up here. So 2 blue and 3 of the turquoise. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, I had to stop for a second because I wasn't sure if I was going to put white here or what, but I am going to put a white right here. And now I'm going to go ahead and put 5 on over here. Okay, so now what we have at this point, I think this is beautiful. Okay, so we still have 1 turquoise left, and then the rest are all turquoise and green, and then the white. So I'm going to do the 1 turquoise right here, and then I'm going to have just this green and turquoise along here. Okay, and all we have left to do, we're just going to do a little bit of white right along here. I think 1 more and then 2, 1 and 2. So this is it before we add any flowers. And I forgot to tell you at the beginning of the video, the flowers were the reason I picked out these colors. I got these from Michael's. See that blue, and it has just that little touch of purple right on the edge. And I just thought those colors would look so good with this, and it does. I'm so excited. So I'm going to go ahead and add these flowers on, and I'm going to add some greenery. I might add a little bit more purple. I don't know. Definitely some baby's breath, and I'll be back here and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Okay, so I have my main flowers that I want to use here. Okay, see how long this stem is, obviously we're not going to use all of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these two small buds off of there. And I'm sure I'll be using these. I'm going to go ahead and just pull these off. And we'll just hot glue these. And yeah, we'll hot glue these leaves into here. So I just kind of pulled them off. So I got these ready. And I have part of these ficus leaves. I love to use ficus as like a background to my florals. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put right here in the center, I'm going to put a zip tie. It will just make it a little bit easier to hold it in place. Put these two going down in. And this going up. Okay, and then I'm gonna tie that down just to kind of get things started. Okay, and then I have my hot glue here. And yes, I put this, you can see I put a just piece of cardboard down because I don't want any of the hot glue to get on my cutting mat or my table. I could take the cutting mat off, but I still don't want my table messed up. So I got that right there. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of hot glue, kind of get a nice little dab of hot glue on all of that. Just put a little bit of glue right on them. So now I'm going to just fill this in with a little bit more greenery. I'm definitely going to use these rose leaves. I have these beautiful green, it's just a very light springy green. I don't know where I got them from. You can see they must have come off of some other stem that I didn't want to use at the time. But I think these are so springy and they're going to look really good with this. So I'm going to just dab some glue on the ends of that. And be careful not to get anything anywhere else. So I got these at the Dollar Tree, believe that or not. I love these. I think they look almost as good as what you would get at Hobby Lobby or Joann's or Michael's. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just pull this off of here because I think that's going to be too much. But I definitely want to make sure I'm hiding more of this plastic canvas that's underneath here. So I'm going to kind of put that down there, kind of get that a little more hidden. Now these I think are almost too dark. I don't want to use that because we want to make sure it's springy looking. Okay, so now I have this big bush of baby's breath. Okay, so I kind of wanted to go with a little bit of purple, and I have this that is just very, I mean, you can barely, yeah, it's hardly any purple at all, but it's just enough. I think that'll highlight the purple that's in here. So what I'm gonna do, again, pull that off. So I'm celebrating one more wreath done, and I am in love with it. But I wanted to say cheers, and I am using this. It's called Angel's Ink. It's a Pinot Noir. I've never tried it before. I just thought, you know what? It has a picture of angels on the front. That's perfect for what we're doing, right? Let's see our final product. I am so thrilled with how this turned out. Look at that. This turned out just like I wanted it to. I can't believe it. This purple going into the blue, the turquoise. It just, I think it looks stunning. I am so thrilled with it. And the colors just go with the flowers so well. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. If you like this video, definitely subscribe to my channel so you can see more like it. And give this a thumbs up too. I would really appreciate it. My name is Patty Davis. I'm with Crooked Tree Creations, and I'll see you in our next video.